It's such a simple concept, but it's like people are like, no, no, I don't want to do that. No, submit. No, no. The problem with you men is that you won't listen. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Soulspiration, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about why you're probably not getting the submission that you want from women, how to get it, what exactly submission is, and then I'm also going to talk to you about what this whole concept of divine masculinity is. You probably have heard divine femininity. Both of them exist in both genders. Thank you for liking this video, and thank you for joining the Soul Tribe, where we step out of the matrix and into our divinity. Let's get into it. If you're a guy watching this video, you're probably like,
wait, why are you a woman teaching us men how to get submission from women? Don't you guys hate submission?
no. And if you're a girl, you're probably thinking,
girl, why are you making this video?
well, essentially, I'm here to put this gender war to rest. But what I'm really here to explain is this whole submission concept. It's such a, the word is overused, it's overplayed, and it's just watered down. And essentially, I want to explain how that happens naturally when you are aligned in your divine masculinity. And quick disclaimer, most women don't hate submission, they just hate how it's taught. It's taught in such a condescending, ridiculous manner that it needs to be taught and explained in a way where both parties can digest. And that's why I'm here. What's so interesting was that this idea of a video popped into my head while I was doing an activity that I really enjoy doing, and that's dancing salsa and bachata. This art form of a dance quite literally is the physical expression of the feminine and the masculine. Any partner dance essentially embodies the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm really is the feminine and the masculine. As such, life imitates art, or art imitates life, whatever, however the saying goes. This dance form truly does embody that. And all these other dance forms, it's the masculine that is leading the feminine. And they're both super important in order for it to make this beautiful flowing art form in sync with each other. Both of these are two different art forms. You have to learn how to lead, and you essentially have to learn how to follow. That's why both the masculine and the feminine are needed. I'm dancing salsa and bachata for 5 years. And in my experience, I realized that the dance teachers never bring up this super key fundamental point. And it's this: if you want to lead the feminine, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know where you're going. You have to be self-aware. You have to be aware of your surroundings, not just for yourself, but for the person you're leading. So essentially her, right? And I'm so grateful that this epiphany just dawned on me after I was dancing. I came home that night and I thought, oh my God, this is like the real life example of what men are experiencing and what women are experiencing in real life, in our everyday lives, in conjunction with each other. Is that there's a bunch of desire to take the lead and do these things, but there's apprehension on the other side because of what's being experienced. I'll give you some specific examples of what I'm talking about, and then I'll correlate it back to real life. So when you dance salsa, or let's say dance bachata, the man is showing you where to go. He moves your hand, he brings you across the floor, he is leading the next move, and you as the feminine, you receive these instructions and you perform it, right? So if he throws my hand around my back, he'll probably grab my hand from the other side and twirl me around. He will do all of these cool moves, and I'm taking the instruction. Here's where the caveat comes into play. The amount of times that I have been hit by another woman due to another man twirling her into me, or I've gotten hair in my mouth, I've gotten elbows to my side, I've gotten my back of my leg scraped. We're all just being twirled into each other, and it's chaotic. What happens is that she's not able to fully rest into her femininity because you're not being aware. You're not protecting her. I have to look over my shoulder, which is your job, to make sure that you're not spinning me into 3 other people. I have to be spatially aware, but still at the same time receive instruction. And I find it ironic when people, a lot of guys will get upset and will say, she won't submit or she won't do this. It's because she's on edge. she can't trust you. How do I know that you're not gonna pull me or lead me into chaos? Because that's what I'm experiencing on the dance floor. And if you can do that with something that simple, why would I trust you with something more serious like my life and our life decisions and choices? When I realized that this dance is truly the physical manifestation of the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, man, it's like I'll never go back to that dance and think of it the same ever again. When done correctly, it's a beautiful thing. You're driving a boat and she's sitting in the boat and you don't know where that boat is going. There's cause for concern there. And this is when women begin to just start taking matters into their own hands, because the track record has shown I can't fully just rest and let you take the reins. Ironically, contrary to popular belief, a lot of women do want to be able to rest and let you take the lead. But you have to ask yourself, have I shown that I can do that? This is a tough conversation. I don't know if these are questions that men are asking themselves, you know, that the average person is asking themselves. Any type of self-awareness requires a lot of courage to take a look and see, wow, that you think you want submission, you think you want someone that's just gonna like fall into your lap and, you know, release all of their inhibitions into you. But what you're really looking for is a natural dynamic that happens when you are aligned and in your divine masculinity. The issue that I have found, brought it up to men on the dance floor, I've literally said, hey, you know, and mind you, these are complete strangers that I'm dancing with, because that's what happens when you go out and you dance with strangers. But I brought it to their attention and I said, hey, if you're gonna twirl me and like you're leading this dance, and so you have to make sure that you don't twirl me into 5 other people. And when I brought this up to them, one guy literally said,
it's not me. I didn't do that. That wasn't.
He literally like blamed the other people that he twirled me into. Another guy brought this up too. He was so upset. He said,
you know what, just have a nice night.
And he just walked away. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? That is not divine masculinity, okay? It's not divinity at all when you can't take any accountability. And that is a lesson that we can all learn from. Personal accountability, self-reflection, and I'm big on that. You've seen any of my other videos, I talk about this all the time. But on this conversation, when it comes to leading other people, specifically as a man, those responses were pretty indicative to me of the average person or the average guy's response when someone is asking you to be accountable if you want to take this lead position. To play devil's advocate here for a second, if you're a total beginner doing salsa and bachata, and of course, you're just trying to get the rhythm down, right? It's these people who've been dancing for years who still don't have that awareness.
To this day!
That idea of, hey, if I'm gonna be bringing her across the dance floor, it's not just about how good you look as a dancer, how good you're making her look as you're spinning her around and her dress is twirling and looking beautiful. It's not all about that. It's about quite literally embodying that masculine role in that situation. If I am leading you, I have to make sure that I'm doing the full responsibility that comes with that, not just look at me. And I've seen, you know, guys do that as they're dancing with me. They'll look around and see, do you see me with her? Do you see me, you know, twirling her around? And, you know, they're just kind of looking to see who's looking at them. That's ego. And we all have ego. But do you see where this is going? Connecting salsa and bachata to real life experiences, right? Connecting it to real life as a man who wants to lead or be in his masculine in conjunction with a woman, putting those dynamics into real life. Let's say you're out with a girl, you know, and you're on a date or you're together. It's not just I'm having fun and she's cute. It's, am I aware of our surroundings whilst we're having fun? Do you have the basics of your own life together so that you can lead someone else or lead this person with you along a journey? Do you have a plan? Are you just aware? Or Are you more focused on using that power aimlessly for your own ego's sake and leading her into chaos, like I've been led and like we've been led into chaos on the dance floor? Leading or leadership in any form, it's a privilege. Any type of leadership role, whether you're at work, at a club, some type of organization, any type of leadership position requires responsibility, and it requires you to be a different version of yourself, a higher version of yourself. And I live by the rule of, with great power comes great responsibility. And it's true. When you are holding the reins of leadership, guiding someone requires awareness. Sometimes the issue is that people want all of that power without the responsibility that comes along with that leadership. She's being led, but at the same time, she still has to protect her own self. That doesn't make any sense, and it's out of order. You are steering a car. When you're steering a car or a boat or leading her in a dance or whatever the case is, steer it in a direction that's going to lead to safety and protection. Now, I'm going to give you another example. One day I was riding in the car with this guy that I was seeing. As I'm riding in the car with this guy who's driving, he wants to look at me while he's driving. So essentially he's driving, but looking at me the entire time. I kid you not, he's not looking at the road. He's driving like this.
Yeah, and then, we're just, so where do you want to go later? Boy, if you don't get...
Guys, you may not realize this, but women are looking at these types of things. It may not be a conscious thing, but it's a subconscious thing that we're looking for. Can I trust you? Can I rest around you? And if you're not aware or connected or in tune enough to be able to do that, they know naturally that they have to be on guard. And then in turn, you're getting a woman that's not truly resting in her femininity. And that's essentially what you want, but you have to provide that so that she can receive that signal like, hey, I can trust this guy. Hey, I can rest. Hey, I can let him lead, because his track record shows that I'm not going to be spun into chaos. As I'm sitting in this car with this man, I literally cannot fully rest and relax and enjoy our time together, because how can I when you're running a red light? You can feel that way just riding in the car with your best friend or your family member, right? If they're just driving crazy, you're like holding on for dear life. Can you fully relax and enjoy that experience? It's quite literally the same thing. It's very avoidable. If you're a man wanting to lead a woman in a relationship or anything really, it's an easy resolve. It really is. Really, all you need to do is get out of your head and into your body. And anyone that's trying to get into divinity or get into an astute awareness, just a full grasp of self. The key here is to become grounded. It's to become rooted in self. Rooted in self, in who you are. And how to do this to reach aligned with your divine masculinity. Spend more time alone with yourself, but not like deep and worried thoughts, but just spending more alone time just with self and enjoying your own company, being in your body and being present with yourself. There's something so magical about being present. When you are present, naturally you can notice things around you. Naturally, you're here, you're in that moment. And so if anything comes her direction, if anything comes up, you can see it, you can spot it, and you can stop it, and you can protect her. Simply asking the universe to show you how to become more divine into your own masculinity, how to be a better leader, how to become more rooted in self. Seek and you shall find. Ask and you shall receive, and it will come onto you. That's the law. That's biblical, right? But that's laws of physics too. You can also do this by meditation. When you get rooted and grounded in meditation into your core, into your root, you become just this unstoppable being where you're not in your head all the time. Journaling, right? Journaling about anything that's ailing you, talking to people that you care about, releasing things that are keeping you from becoming your best self. And then of course, visualizing yourself as your best and desired self. And that is being confident, being rooted in who you are. And when you're confident in yourself, you're confident in how you believe the world perceives you. You're confident in how you interact with other people. You become more aware of self, you become more aware of your surroundings, and you become sharper. Now that's attractive. That's something that she can submit to. That's something that's naturally going to happen when you just attune to self. All the world is self. And so if you're mad at someone because she won't do this, she won't do that, you have to turn inward. And a lot of us don't want to turn inward because we're going to be faced with what we have not been doing this entire time. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you haven't been sharp or you haven't been self-aware. Do it now. Do it now. Turn into self and become more rooted. Meditate, journal, ask, seek, and you shall find. Visualize yourself as that person. I felt this was such a really important topic because all of the videos that I've seen in the manosphere about this, that, and the third, ironically, the videos that teach men how to be masculine, they're always about tangible things. And that's fine, right? Don't get me wrong. A man that has power, status, and finance, I mean, he's probably gonna win every time. But in order to become that person, this man had to turn inward. He had to become that person inside first. And then those tangible things came. In these podcasts that talk about women not submitting and doing all these things, they never talk about the inward approach that needs to happen for that to naturally take place. You're selling people a fake dream, or you're getting them mad about something that they could essentially fix on their own just by turning inwardly. But those types of channels essentially are dedicated to misunderstanding a woman's point when we express these things, right? And it's just further keeping you away from getting where you want to be. So don't listen to people who don't encourage you to turn inward. It's everybody else's fault, pointing the finger, she won't do this, she won't do that. The minute you turn inside is the minute you get all your answers. I'm gonna leave you guys with 2 quotes, right? And the guys that get it, and the guys that don't, and they won't. Not everybody can go with you. Some people are gonna get left behind, that's fine. In Doja Cat's song Woman, she says this one phrase that says, just protect her and keep her safe. That's it. And then in turn, she can do all these amazing things. If I feel like I don't have to look over my shoulder, I can give you the best that I have. I can receive these instructions and man, it'll make you feel good. Rest, breathe, listen. And there's another video from this guy named Snoojay, and he went around Southern California and he was asking guys like, do you prefer stay-at-home wife or whatever. And so essentially one of the guys said something that I thought was super profound. But this man said, masculinity needs to be earned and femininity needs to be protected. And I just thought, wow, I had never heard it in that way before. Masculinity does need to be earned. Someone's giving you the reins to lead them and direct them, whether it's a business, relationship, whatever, that's earned. You have a track record of showing that you got this. So I'm gonna give you the reins. So if I give you the reins, please steer it in a way that's gonna lead me to safety. Please steer it in a way that's gonna make us both win. Because if not, I'm taking the reins back. Submission naturally happens when you show and prove, and your actions have shown that you can be trusted with that. Now that you have this information, it's time to do some self-reflection and asking yourself, has this been lacking in my own life? If so, how can I implement these tools that I've mentioned in this video? How can you implement these tools in your own life? All right, y'all, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for liking this video and for joining the Soul Tribe, where we step out of the matrix and into our divinity. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.